And a very good evening to all my viewers out there. We are here on the corner of Laurier and Parc Avenue here in La Plateau Mont Royal, also known as the Plateau of Mount Royal. And I'm going to do a little walking video now here on Parc Avenue. I'm going to head south and maybe turn left onto Saint Laurent Boulevard and see what we can see. And because this street is well lit and I'm filming in 4K, should be a decent video, let's hope. So anyway, just to look around, you have some really nice old architecture, and indeed this is one of the oldest streets in Montreal. So we're going to start walking here, like I said, south, and if you kept walking in this direction, then you'd eventually hit downtown Montreal. And just to my right, which is to my west, is Mount Royal itself, which you won't be able to see because it's dark, and a lot of buildings obviously are obstructing the view, but nonetheless we'll get to see some shops, some bars, restaurants, you name it. A couple of articulated buses, non-articulated buses, who knows what else. But anyways, yeah, so right now, by the way, it is Wednesday, March the 6th, 2019. It's exactly 10 p.m. There's an articulated bus there, the 80 route, which goes up and down Parc Avenue. And there's Supermarché PA, one of two locations that I know of. I think there's actually four of them, but the one I usually go to is on Fort Street near Guy Concordia Metro. But I think this one, natural and biological, yeah, natural and organic foods, that's what that one deals with. And interestingly enough, I used to work here. This is going back to 2007, so quite a while ago. One of my summer jobs that I had, and I remember that laneway rather well. They have the stockroom just to the left of that laneway. I remember that very clearly. But anyways, we're coming up now to St. Joseph Avenue. And another very large street. And I believe there's also a St. Joseph Avenue in Lachine. Not to get confused. Bar prime time. Looks like some curling going on, as we are, I guess, in curling season right now. And here's another example of those new LED lights right there. And those older orange ones. And this is something interesting I just noticed as I got off the 51 bus. Went across the street here anyway. I don't know if you can see right above the street there, there's looks like a traffic light, but it's not. It's actually a lane, and I think it's specifically a bus lane. And I'm talking about this thing right there. And something I haven't really seen around until tonight. I don't know if it's used to emphasize the fact that there's a bus lane there. I don't even know if it's for a bus lane, but I assume. But I look to have it all along the street here, so something interesting. Yeah, so across the street here and continue walking south. And like I said, this is one of the older streets in the city. A lot of these buildings are from 1900s, even earlier. A lot of apartments, shops. I mean, just look at this. I mean, you can tell, really old-fashioned. And yeah, I do an alley walk, but it's kind of dark. So even have some Christmas lights still up here, and we're in March right now. I don't think that's for any snow removal because there's no snow removal operations going on. And in fact, yeah, we may be coming towards the end of the snow season, because this coming weekend it's the time change. The clocks will spring forward an hour, which means more daylight to film. Look at this building. I don't know if you can see inside of it. Huge walls. A lot of these were probably factories at one point, storage facilities, or just plain stores that were built according to the time. Look at this. Who knows how old that thing is? Whew. Pizza du Parc. Pizza du Parc. There's a travel agency. Ah, look at this building here. Try to zoom in as I get close. And by the way, as I always mention when I film in 4K, there's a very good chance that my video is going to end prematurely, but I will post a link to the continuation of this video. Where are we now? We're 5 minutes in, so just giving you a heads up. Look at that beautiful lighting. I love those old-fashioned lights on the side. So there's the iPhone X. Never was an iPhone person. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I had an iPod once. And, you know, I liked it at first. It was nice, but it got frustrating to use after because you can only do so much with Apple technology. Unlike Android, where you can put anything on there and you have more freedom. Apple doesn't give you that luxury, but I mean, there are people that prefer Apple, and, you know, each to their own. Let's wait for this light to change. And then we're gonna head, maybe not here, maybe on the next block. We'll head, we'll turn left and head to our east onto Saint Laurent Boulevard, I believe. Yep. Patisserie Laurence. A lot of, like I said, restaurants, bakeries, you name it. You know, it's one of those very diverse neighborhoods. And that's what I'm talking about right there, those signs up there, those big posts. Kind of precarious too, the way it's leaning out there in the middle of the road. I mean, I'm thinking if there's a good windstorm, that thing's going to be moving around quite a bit. Well, here's the other side. This is what I'm talking about. So there's a red X on one side, but on this side here, there's a white arrow. And if you look, there's also two other lights beside that. So I don't know exactly what it is. Figure it out. There's some more Christmas themed decorations that are still out. So again, I'll remind my viewers one last time that there'll probably be a second video because this thing's going to cut out of nowhere and continue recording on a different file. But I'll post a video for sure, a link to that video. There's another old-fashioned building you can see. Who knows how old that sign is? Waxman. Wow. I love that light in there. And it's good that, you know, they try to preserve a lot of the original architecture and features of these buildings. This is one of the most bizarre things here. Look at this. There's a Dairy Queen right here. And you have this huge lot of land. Look at this. And in the middle of this lot of land, there's that little incy Dairy Queen there. It's like a tiny little little model house or something. And then you have those apartment buildings behind it. Rather interesting. Yeah, so we're coming up to Mount Royal Avenue, which I'll continue walking. What street is this? Bérubé. So Parc Avenue and Bérubé. This looks like a newer apartment complex. And this one here, Mona's restaurant equipment. This thing's been here for years. I mean, check out inside. You got pots, mixers, spoons, you name it. I mean, if you're looking for kitchen supplies, that's one of the well-known establishments in the city. Yep. I didn't know there was hotels here as well. Anyways, so we'll be turning left here in a moment onto Mount Royal. As I mentioned, another bar. There's another articulated 80 bus. And by the way, the maintenance strike is over now, so hopefully we'll have more reliable buses than we've been having. I had to zoom a little off. Yeah. So you can't really see it, but Mount Royal is right here, straight ahead and a little bit to my right. But, you know, it's obviously nighttime. By the way, I am going to be talking about a project, a video project that I'm going to be working on regarding Mount Royal in the coming weeks. Kind of involves a bit of paranormal, bit of history. Give you a little hint. It involves the possibility of a secret cemetery near the old Royal Victoria Hospital. So I'll tell you more about that as the time comes. So here we are now. We're going to turn left, and now we're walking east on Mount Royal. There's a nice A&W, has that aquarium bowl type window there. So the video is probably going to cut out any moment now. So again, if it does, I'll put a link to the second one, the continuation. I'm not going to film much longer here, but maybe we'll film up to Saint Laurent Boulevard and across here. Now I'll stay on this side. Yeah, and like I said, Mount Royal is pretty much there in front of me, and you can actually see, quite surprisingly, the outline of Mount Royal right there. Yep. The beauty of filming in 4K. Ooh, that looks like a nice building. Probably have a beautiful